Hello, Pete. It's good to be with you guys here talking HealthTech and together here in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Nice change from the cold weather we've been having down in Sydney at the moment. So isn't that good? So my name is Doug Murray. I'm the Managing Director for Meditech in the Asia Pacific. We drive our business in this region predominantly out of two main areas, out of Sydney and both out of Singapore as well. Meditech, as you might know, is a company that's been around for a very long time. It was founded in Boston in 1969. It's a date that I don't easily forget. It's the same year that I was born. So it's easy to remember.
Yeah. That's right. There's the international presence. It's great that we've got the time to have a chat now because I'd love to learn a little bit more about Meditech, particularly in the region, in our region, in Australia, and broadly in APAC, and just a little bit more about those problems that you're solving.
Yes, as I alluded to, Meditech's been around a very long time. It's a company, we've always developed our own software. We've never looked to grow by any form of acquisition. All of our growth has been hard-earned and hard-won in that. We have a presence in around 27 countries around the world at the moment. We made our play in Australia some 20 years ago and set up shop here and that. And, ever since then I've been working hard to try and grow the business in the Australian landscape. We're an end-to-end EMR solution, so incorporating all the aspects of an EMR, so a PAS and billing solution. Then we go on to the clinicals, the advanced clinicals, and then also that decision support layer to try and package it all up into that single solution.
Mm-hmm. And so we're here at HIC, and it's a great opportunity to speak with the ecosystem and those hospitals that are needing those solutions. Tell me a bit more about those conversations that you're having here, or some of those priorities, or what you're seeing, particularly as Meditech's got that legacy and that timeline and needing to adapt to meet those needs. Where are your kind of priorities at now?
It's a good question. Our latest iteration of our software solution called Expanse, it's been around now for probably going on a decade, but it's getting such good reviews both from the customer base and the market in general in how it's been ranked out there. It's a platform we spent so much time developing from the ground up by physicians for physicians. It's got a fast, intuitive user interface. It allows for a high degree of personalization. It makes the workflow seamless in that. We've tried to keep the interaction with that user interface fast and flat. So we're pleased that that's getting, the type of recognition that it is. We've recently packaged that into a solution that we're calling MAS, Meditech as a Service, where we're offering that to the marketplace now, where we have a GCP platform underneath it, a Google Cloud platform, driving the whole infrastructure layer of that. And so we're bringing it out in a subscription type model, sort of a pay-as-you-go, and we're finding that's garnering a lot of interest.
That's an interesting. And so when you, in terms of as a service, and so there can be a few different ways to interpret that. Some might see it as you utilize some of the capability under the hood and then kind of put your own thing over the top and building your own solutions. Other kind of see it as a bit of a hybrid model. What are some of those examples of how that kind of Meditech as a service solution might be utilized in the real world?
So what we've tried to do there is make the full Expanse end-to-end EMR available in that as the service. So you've got the full suite of Meditech applications that are made available, and all of that then running on the Google Cloud platform. But we've gone a little bit further, and we've tried to do it in what we're looking at as a Meditech foundation, and also the advanced Meditech EMR piece to allow for that incremental growth so that you don't have to get into it and go big bang. I mean, obviously, we can certainly do that, but we wanted to try to allow it, for some of those organizations transitioning off paper or moving into it for the first time to sort of go with that foundation model, lay that foundation, and then from there you move into the advanced meds management and the decision support and the analyticals at a later stage. And we're finding there's an appetite for that.
I find that's a recurring theme, even here at HIC about how there's this wonderful advancements and new cool things that we can do, and the future is exciting, but we've got to get those foundations right to be able to build from. And a lot of healthcare providers and hospitals and clinics are at that stage still where they need that right foundation to build upon, and that will then get that buy-in for further involvement of innovation and getting those clinicians involved too. So I feel like that's super important. I know that you've been part of the conversation here at HIC. Meditech have got a bit of a presence on stages and stuff. Tell me about the what you've been sharing with the audience here at HIC.
Absolutely. So we're this year taking a little bit of bigger presence that we usually do. We're a gold sponsor this year. It's also given us the opportunity to bring out a speaker from our customer base in the US, and we're fortunate to have Dr. John Doulis with us. He's from a group called Health Corporation America, HCA. They've got around 188 hospitals that they use, and they're using Meditech's Expanse in that organization. But I think what they're doing, and that's what a lot of the talks go about, is how they're now using Meditech as that robust transactional system to capture all of that EMR data, but then how that filters up into that AI layer, and then how they're using AI at the moment is incredibly impressive in the work that they're doing.
Yeah.
In and of itself, we believe Meditech goes a long way to help with the cognitive burden that doctors and nurses are suffering in the hospital and trying to bring mechanisms and ways to assist that with our own AI initiatives. But then seeing what HCA is doing and the type of work they're doing is just impressive.
Yeah.
And that's what John's talking about here.
It's great to have the opportunity to hear how others are doing in other parts of the world, and not that anywhere's more advanced necessarily, but there's always healthcare systems that we can almost live vicariously through the successes and the journey they've undergone to be able to get to that kind of stage that might only be 1 or 2 steps ahead, but it kind of can be difficult to see that next path and see how that's relevant to our region. So you've kind of alluded to my next question already, but I'm curious to know that we've talked a lot about the where we've been and where we are now, and we've got a lot of different pathways we could take moving forward. To kind of close this out, where are your priorities and what's kind of on the horizon for Meditech in the region, and what can we look forward to seeing?
The landscape is evolving so rapidly, especially with AI coming in and now having a play in that. And so for us, there's a lot of focus on how we bring AI in a very carefully and considered manner into our software solutions, and that we've done a fair bit of work along that pathway already. We have Google search and summarization embedded into Meditech. That's powered by Google. So we have some of that going in. We're doing a lot of work in the ambient listening space, but we also want to sort of start working in that space of, how we help ease that journey in the hospital, that journey of administration and documentation that nurses and doctors have to do. So things like discharge summaries for doctors or nursing handover notes, how we can use AI to make that process just that little bit easier.